just hate it when you buy a snow cone and your girlfriend or your wife says, hey, can I have some? And they suck out all of the syrup and leave you with just the ice. The ice is cool, but that act, that's just not cool, man. Not cool. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4 of the double Torah portion, Bahar Bukukatai. And we're actually going to get to the Bukukatai part in my statutes, Leviticus chapter 26, verse 3. And we'll begin with verse 2, but we'll quickly get to verse 3. A little bit of housekeeping here. Some have watched day number 2 and found that it was a repeat of day number 1. Unfortunately, there was an upload issue, so if you're watching this and you haven't gone back to day 2, it's reloaded. It's now correct. I apologize for the issue that was caused. Just an error in the upload. Now, let's get to chapter 26 of Leviticus and read verse 2 so we can understand verse 3. Guard my Shabbats and reverence my set-apart place. I am Yahweh. If you walk in my laws, my statutes, and guard my commands and shall do them, so the conditional phrase, if, he says in verse 4 and following, then I shall give you rain in its season, the land shall yield its crops, the trees of the field yield their fruit. He talks about an elongated harvest season. He talks about peace in the land. He talks about the evil beast will not rise up to overtake us. The sword will not prevail against us. Our enemies will flee from before us, etc. In other words, life will be good if, conditional if here, if we will walk in obedience to his word. Now, we go to the opening phrase here, and in Hebrew, it is the phrase, Bukukatai, in my statutes, telakul. Telakul here is from the root word halak, which means to walk. It is where we get the word halakha, which is the means of walking that is acceptable. We have our halakha in the Torah. This is the halakhic decisions by rabbinical courts that have been made about how to wash hands or how to prepare food or how to do just about any daily duty. There is a halakhic understanding, and it is from this root word halak, to walk, how your manner of living is conducted. And so we have then this idea that if you will walk, if you will conduct your life affairs, if you will conduct your living according to my statutes, my commands, then these good things will be happening to you. It says that you should keep, or the word here is shomer, or a form of the word shomer. It is the word tishmaru. It is from the word shomer, which means to keep, to guard, to set up defense of, to be attended to watch out over and for. So our manner of living, according to this word, is to be that we have our walk, our daily living, our daily expression of life based on his statutes, his commands. And then that we keep our eyes focused on, that we set up a defense system around the commands so that we do not violate them. In other words, as I go through my day, engaging with people, doing my work, conducting business, as I study, as I spend time with my family, it's all guarded by, focused on, surrounded by, based upon, founded upon his commands. Then we hear the phrase, well, I just don't believe you need to do all of that. Yet we will be very attentive to what is in, quote unquote, the New Testament, about what Paul said. How many commands are there? There are thousands of commands in what we call the New Testament. There are 613 in what we call the Old Testament. It's all one testament. That's another teaching. But nevertheless, as we look at the Word, these commands are not exhaustive for us. Moshe even later on says, none of these commands are too hard for you. None of them. These are the same commands that Yeshua taught us. He says, if you love me, in Yochanan chapter 14, if you love me, you will keep my commands. His commands and the Father's commands are all the same commands. Because Yeshua did say, I did not come with my own words. I came to speak only what I hear the Father speaking. The Father's never changed his mind. So these commands are still for us, and they are good for us. These commands offer us a lifestyle, a wholesome, life-giving, energetic, engaging, enjoyable, joyful lifestyle that is good for us. My family and I have been seeking to walk and learning to walk according to the Torah and its commands. Those first 5 books that we easily want to dismiss, especially this book of Leviticus. We have been studying these scriptures now for 20 years. Seeking to find the wisdom and the revelation of Yeshua in them, correcting our walk, correcting our ways of dealing with people, living according to what we believe that the Torah is giving to us. And I have to tell you that I have lived an enjoyable, life-giving, hope-filled, get out of bed and ready to embrace the day mindset and lifestyle for the last 20 years. The Torah has not bound me down. It's not bogged me down. It's not locked me up. It has not prevented me from really engaging in anything that I would otherwise have enjoyed. So it involves then digging in, learning more. Torah must become more than an initial, what shall I call it then? Novelty is a good word. At times, it's like getting that snow cone. And it's got all of your favorite flavor on it. And you're ready to dive in. But once the syrup is gone, you're just left with the ice. Engaging in the Torah and finding great little nuggets of insight and wide-eyed, exciting moments like, wow, I didn't know that was in there. What a cool concept. I didn't see that before. And we get all excited and we put that little nugget in our nugget bag and we go and we share it with other people and their eyes open up and they're excited. That's a fascinating part of it. It does happen, especially when you first start. But the further you go into the study of the Torah, the more you already know those things. And then you're just left with the commands. Just a paper cone filled with ice. Unless you began to dig a little deeper. After some 20 years of studying and teaching and practicing and seeking to observe the Torah and seeing all that is in there, I haven't scratched the surface yet. Kepha asked Yeshua, how often should I forgive someone? Yeshua said 70 times 7. What is he talking about? Rabbis say that it takes 3 years to go through one level of the Torah. 3 years. And there are 70 levels, or 210 years, just to get through all the levels of the Torah one time. Was Yeshua saying, until you've completed 70 cycles of the Torah, you should keep on forgiving? We need to dig deeper. There's more to this than what we have learned. More tomorrow then. Shalom.